Hello and welcome back to one of our mini training sessions on Workbooks CRM aimed at existing Workbooks users or indeed anyone seriously looking at Workbooks as a new CRM system. And in this one, we're going to cover the field updater, as it's called. So over the next 20 minutes or so, we'll take a detailed look at how the field update feature plugin in Workbooks CRM can help you transform the way that you manage and look after your data. This powerful feature of Workbooks allows you to perform automatic field updates really quickly and accurately in the background, saving you valuable time that would otherwise be spent on tediously manually editing one record, but in turn, individual records in turn. So we're going to explore how it enables you to select multiple records and apply changes to specific field or fields all at once, cutting down the risk of course, human manual error and ensuring that your data is always consistent and up to date and reliable. We're going to run through a practical example of a common scenario. The example we're going to take, Stuart will describe it shortly. But the example we're going to take is updating last contact information. But other scenarios are possible: updating lead sources, reassigning territories, regions, updating customer statuses, or tagging people records ready for a campaign. There's loads of examples, and they're all tasks that can become a lot quicker and simpler with this field updater feature. So hello, my name is Tim Wilmot and joined by my colleagues Stuart Lawrence and Hyde, and our company Wizard Systems. We're a leading independent CRM solutions provider of systems like Workbooks. We help out organizations use affordable solutions to help them with their sales, marketing, and customer service productivity. Now, those of you on here live, the audio part of this event presentation is one way only. If you've got any questions, pop those into the question box on your meeting control panel, and Stuart and I would do our best to answer those at the end. Okay, I'm going to pass over to my colleague Stuart now.
As Tim mentioned, we're going to have a look at a brilliant little plugin, the field updater. Tim sort of went through a couple of things. Its job is really simple. Look for a change on a record and update a field on that record. This could be simple things, as Tim's said, about the last contacted page, or you can get quite clever things like update a commission field based on the value of an opportunity. Stock control, the idea being that when you convert a quote to an order, it could reduce the stock level for the item. Now, all those are fairly easy to do, and you are walked through the process each time you prepare something in the field updater. So I've got a scenario for you. I, like a lot of other people, have sales leads that require calls and emails to help qualify them. And I'd like a quick way of knowing when a lead was last called. And to do this, we use the last contacted field down here. I've got Zoe's record open, and what I want is I want the users to enter the date of the last call in that field for me. However, things get a little busy, and sometimes it's left blank or it's out of date. So I can see this is blank, but if I check the activities, I know that there have been calls. So this one's flipped through the net. I'm on the record, I could do it manually, that's fine. But I want to find a way of the system helping me keep these records up to date. Another way to do that is with the field updater. So first thing we need to do, if I close down Zoe, is to build a report. I've told the report, find those records where this field is blank or it's out of date. And I can see that there are two. So let's go into this report and have a look at what it's doing. So it can be any report for any record type. Their field updater will work across the entire system. We're picking leads for this one. You can include all the fields to help you with the report. If I run this report, we can still see there are my two records that it's found. And there are two fields that you must include in a report if you want the field updater to look after it for you. The first one is the lead ID, and the second one is the lock version. So the field ID is so the system knows exactly which record we're going to be dealing with. And the lock version is used to make sure that it's always the latest info. Some of you may have seen a pop-up in Workbooks that you're working on a record, you're editing it, and when you go to save it, it tells you that this record has been edited elsewhere. Could be by you, you might have two screens open, but that's the lock version working. And the last thing to mention here is we go to the report tab. When you create the report and you intend to use it with the field updater, you must select the category as field updater. And this is so that the report then becomes available when you go to use it with the plugin in a few minutes. Right. Let's go back here and have a look. Right. So that's the report. Now, I can tell most of you are staring at that formula field, but when you read it, hopefully you'll see that all it's doing is just doing a match for me. And I've told it to check to see if the completed date of the activity is the same as the last contacted date. And if it is, it leaves it alone, puts a 0 there. And if it doesn't, it puts a 1. And we can see it working. I've got two records down here that both have the 1. So I know the report is working. So it's going to do what I want it to do. Right, so that's the report. Let's leave that running and minimize that. We'll come back to that in a moment. Now for the field updater itself. And for this, we go to our old friend configuration. And you click on automation, and it's one of the plugins. Now on my system here, it's already installed, and I can see it there is installed. If you come to this area and it's not installed, you click on add plugin, select it from the drop down, click install, and the process is really simple. It's automatic, and the plugin will show you what it's doing as part of the setup. Right, so now let's have a look at the updater itself. And for that, we move to the other integration and into the field updater. And we can see that I've got one running here. If you didn't have any, you would just click on add, and again, the wizard. But the wizard is only going to show us what I'm about to show you anyway. So you have to give it 3 pieces of information in the settings. The first is what's the record type. The second is what ID column are you going to use? And as I mentioned, you've got to it's one of the 2 mandatory fields. We're using lead ID. And the record, what field is the record locking field? And we know, because we added it to the report, it's going to be the sales lead lock version. And the last step is to tell it what fields are mapped. And we're going to use the last contact field. That's the field I want the field updater to update for me. And it's going to do that by using the information in the report. And all it's going to do is it's going to take that information from the report and pretty much paste it into that field on my behalf. Really easy. And the last part is when do you want it to run? Now, by default, it's going to run every minute of every day. It just runs in the background quietly for you. But you could have it update a field maybe just out of hours, or it's just to do something on a Sunday night before the working week. You control these, and each field updater that you add can run on its own schedule. So what does all this mean? Right. Well, if I resume this field updater, I get a little prompt here to tell me that it's doing it. It refreshes itself, it'll go back on screen, and now it's running. And a little thing flashing away to itself say it's running. If we go back to the report, here's the report from a few minutes ago, and it found 2 records. Right, there we go. Now they've vanished, and the reason they've vanished is there's no longer any criteria for them to appear in this report. Well, that's great. The report is empty. That's fine. Let's go back and have a look at Zoe's record. last contacted, now matches the date of the last activity. Now remember that, imagine that, that's running all day, every minute of every day, carrying out these automated steps for you. It went and found the sales leads that didn't have that value, and it put that value in there for you. Yes, you can do a report that does it, but then you'd have to go and do them manually. Here, the field updater is just saying, leave it to me. I'll do it. Field updater, updating fields based on criteria in a report. And that's it. Tim, I'll pass things back to you.
Thanks very much, Stuart. Yeah, so you can see it's a really powerful part of Workbooks. It is, although we use the word sort of plug in, and if you get to that config screen and it's not there, it is part of your subscription. So there's no extra cost for it. It needs a little bit of thinking about, but truly it can really transform and make sure that critical information is up to date. So give it a thought about what bits of information against records of companies, opportunities, people, needs updating based on maybe some other information elsewhere in your CRM database. And that might be a prime candidate for utilizing the field updater feature. And if you get stuck, of course, we're on hand to help you at Wizard Systems with the report, that the little sort of the custom formula as well. So if you get stuck with that, then please contact us for assistance. Right, we normally go into a Q&A session around this feature, but just while you might be thinking of a question to ask us, just a reminder about Wizard Systems. We're a long-standing provider of CRM solutions as regards workbooks. We're a one-stop shop. We provision the product, set it up for you, customize it to your requirements, transfer data from an old system to a new system, give you training, your place, our place online, and provide the ongoing help desk support as well. Right, Sue, questions then. I've got Stuart. First question from Lois. I'm confused. What's the difference between bulk actions and field updater?
Right. Okay. Well, the bulk action, a bulk action's job is to update a value to one we've picked. Yeah. A date, a user, reassigning records. Now, it can be scheduled to run at every hour, so it has some automation in it, but it's only updating fields to values I've given it. I can't give it criteria. It's that differentiates the two. So as I want to use criteria, I would use the field updater to do it for me.
Okay. Next question from Joel. What safeguards are in place to prevent accidentally updating the wrong records or overwriting important data when using field updates?
Right. Well, that comes down to the way that you build all this, in that you start with the report. So the report is your checks and balances. When you know that the criteria appears right in the report, and that's where I use that 1 and 0, so that I know I'm getting the right answers. Only when I've got the report doing what I want, when I then tell the updater, brilliant, I've got the report. Can you use this report to update the fields on my behalf? So yeah, the report is your stop before you move forward to use it.
Yes, it's necessary to get that report right, isn't it? As regards to that check.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, thinking it through, then getting the report right. Next question from Jana. Can I use the field updater on custom fields that we've created for our specific industry requirements? And will it work with different field types like pick lists and date fields?
Wow. The answer is yes, because it's doing the job on a report, and you can include custom fields on a report. The answer is yes. So custom field, it can update. Saw me my demo. I used a date field, but it could be a value in a pick list. It could be one value that's already set in a pick list, but I want, based on criteria, a a monetary value or an assignment value to pick something else from a pick list. So as long as the report can show that criteria for me, the field updater can update that field to the required value.
Okay. Another question from Joel. Is there a limit to the number of fields it will update?
All right. Yes, actually. One. So for each field, you could say the clue is in the name, but it is a field updater. So you build the report. The same report can be used over and over again. But for each field you want the field updater to work with, it must have its own process running. So I had it use the last contacted date. If I wanted it to do the account manager as well, I would create another field updater to control that field for me. So yeah, one process for each field you want it to look after.
Okay, don't think there's any more questions, Stuart. Right, well, just to wrap things up, an update of workbooks was rolled out on July the 19th, July 19th, 2025. The date of this event is 23rd of July. So you would have noticed, if you're using projects, some small tweaks there, and there's some improvements in the API chain. There's some API changes as well. Full information will be in the bulletins that you would have received from Workbooks. But again, contact us for more information if you want to know a little bit more about what updates came out on July the 19th. Do you fancy a CRM review there? Normally we do these online just to have a peek at your system and check how you're getting on and suggest some improvements over the next few months for getting the most out of your Workbooks investment. And Workbooks users out there, do you have any suggestions for future topics that you'd like us to handle on these weekly sessions on Workbooks? So thanks very much for tuning in, for attending this event, and we'll catch up with you soon on the next event. Thanks very much indeed. Bye-bye.